Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. Today we're looking at Gelteq.
Oh, yeah, they trade under the ticker GELS.
That's right, on the Nasdaq Q.
Oh.
They're really making some noise in the pharmaceutical and nutraceutical world.
Yeah, what's really interesting about Gelteq is their drug delivery system. It's gel-based. Imagine taking medicine without having to worry about those big pills.
I mean, that's a game changer for a lot of people, right?
Yeah, that's the potential Gelteq is offering.
It could really change how we all think about taking medication.
For sure.
It's not just the technology either. Gelteq stock has been, well, it's been surging nearly 80%.
Almost hit $4 in a single day.
3.95 cents to be exact.
Yeah.
They're also presenting at the Benchmark Company Investor Conference.
When is that?
December 11th.
Okay.
So that could be a big catalyst for the stock.
Yeah, these investor conferences, especially for companies like Gelteq that, maybe aren't household names just yet, they're really a great platform for them to really showcase what they're doing and connect with new investors.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that's definitely something to watch.
So with all this buzz around Gelteq, the question for our listeners today is this company worth adding to the portfolio?
Right.
So let's start with the basics. What does Gelteq actually do?
So at their core, they've developed this patented, it's a gel-based oral drug delivery system, which basically means they've figured out a way to deliver, all sorts of substances from prescription drugs to vitamins, supplements, even pet care products using this gel as a carrier.
Now, I know nutraceuticals might sound a little, unfamiliar to some listeners.
Right.
But it's really just a fancy word for foods that offer, health benefits beyond just basic nutrition.
Yeah, I think vitamins, minerals, herbal extracts, that sort of thing.
Exactly.
Gelteq's technology, it really makes it easier, potentially more effective to deliver these substances.
Yeah.
And this is a market that is only growing.
Yeah, it's interesting. The applications go way beyond just convenience, right?
Absolutely.
I'm thinking about people who have a hard time swallowing pills.
Right.
Children, even animals.
Yeah, this gel-based system just opens up so many possibilities for making, taking medication easier and more efficient for everyone.
For sure.
And importantly, it could really improve what's called patient compliance, which means, people are more likely to take their medication as prescribed if it's easier and more enjoyable to do so.
Makes sense. It's amazing to think about how such a simple concept can have such a wide impact.
It really is.
Well, let's talk about their partnership with Monash University in Australia.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Really impressive.
Monash isn't just any university.
No, they're a global leader, especially when it comes to pharmaceutical research.
Yeah, and they've got close ties to some big names.
Oh, yeah. Pfizer, GSK.
Huge players. Big players.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that partnership really speaks volumes about, the credibility of Gelteq's technology.
Absolutely. I mean, Monash wouldn't be involved if they didn't see the potential there.
Right.
And it's not just research. This collaboration could, open a lot of doors for Gelteq in terms of accessing top talent, potential licensing deals, even future partnerships with some of those pharmaceutical giants we mentioned.
Yeah, it's a powerful network to tap into.
For sure.
And I also saw that Gelteq's executive chairman mentioned they're ramping up production.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to fulfill these large orders, which tells me there's strong demand for this product.
Which is a good sign.
Yeah.
It suggests there's real interest and, people are willing to put their money where their mouth is.
Exactly.
And they want this product.
And that demand isn't just in Australia. Gelteq has global ambitions.
Right.
And they're starting with the U.S. market.
Smart move.
I mean, it's huge, right?
Huge market. Yeah, the U.S. healthcare market is massive.
But breaking into a new market like that, especially when as complex as the U.S., it's not easy.
Not easy at all.
So how are they preparing for this?
So they brought in a new president of U.S. operations. His name is Adam Bendel.
Okay.
And let me tell you, his resume is impressive.
Okay, lay it on me.
Deloitte Consulting.
Wow.
Calvin Klein. Tommy Hilfiger.
Really?
Cole Hain.
This guy's got it all?
This guy knows how to build brands and scale businesses.
He sounds like the real deal.
And navigate complex markets, which is exactly what they need.
He definitely brings a lot of experience to the table.
Yeah.
And it seems like Gelteq is serious about making a big impact in the U.S.
Absolutely. They are not messing around.
And there's some concrete signs that things are moving quickly.
Like what?
400,000 units going into production in November 2024.
Wow.
So it seems like the technology is ready.
Yeah, prime time.
And they're getting ready to meet that demand.
It seems like it.
That's a lot of units.
It is.
And it sounds like they're already customers.
Oh, yeah.
Gelteq's largest U.S. customer. They actually just increased their initial order by 50%.
Wow. To meet growing demand.
That's a big vote of confidence.
Huge. Suggests that their technology is really resonating.
Yeah, with key players in the U.S.
For sure.
It's all sounding pretty exciting so far.
It is.
But as with any investment, we need to look at everything, and that includes the financials.
Right.
And that's where things get, well, let's just say they require a closer look.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, let's dive into that.
Sounds good. To really understand Gelteq's performance, it helps to look at the bigger picture, the broader market.
Okay.
For example, the S&P 500. This year, it's projected to grow earnings at 11.9%. So that's pretty solid growth.
Yeah, that makes Gelteq's negative earnings per share stand out even more, right?
Right.
They're behind the curve, at least when it comes to profitability.
Yeah, that's true. And while it's not unusual, for young companies, especially ones that are investing heavily in things like R&D or expanding into new markets, to operate at a loss, investors still want to see a plan, a path.
Yeah.
A path towards profitability.
Makes sense.
So let's take a closer look at Gelteq's financials to understand what's driving those losses and what their prospects might be for turning things around.
All right, let's dive in.
Okay.
What should our listeners be paying attention to? What are some of the things that stand out to you?
Well, first, it's important to understand that Gelteq is operating in a market that's, poised for significant growth.
Okay.
The silicone gel market, which is a key part of their technology, it's expected to boom in the next few years. And that's really driven by, the increasing demand for more efficient and patient-friendly drug delivery systems.
Oh, okay.
So while they are currently reporting losses, they're in a space with a lot of potential.
And that's good news for Gelteq, but how do their current losses compare to, these growth projections for the market?
Right.
Is the growth potential enough to, eventually lead to profitability?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
We can see that they're investing heavily in R&D, as well as expanding operations, especially in the U.S. And those are essential expenses,
yes,
especially for a company like Gelteq that's looking to grow their market share.
Of course.
The key is to really assess whether these investments are translating into revenue growth.
Right.
That can outpace those expenses over the long term.
So investors really need to watch their revenue growth.
Yeah.
Make sure it's keeping up with the silicone gel market.
Exactly.
What about other financials? What else should investors be considering?
So it's always a good idea to look at the balance sheet, the cash flow statement.
Okay.
These can tell us, how much debt they have, how much cash they're burning through, and whether they have enough, financial runway to keep investing without having to raise additional capital, which can dilute existing shareholders.
Right. So there's a bit of a balancing act going on here.
Yeah, there is.
On the one hand, you have a company with, really innovative technology in a market that's growing. On the other, they're not profitable yet, and they're burning through cash. What does this all mean for potential investors?
I mean, it's the classic high-risk, high-reward situation. Gelteq could be a home run if they execute their plan well and reach profitability, but there's always the risk that they might not be able to turn things around.
Of course.
Especially in a competitive market like this.
So due diligence is essential here.
Absolutely.
Investors really need to, weigh the rewards against the risks.
Right.
What are some things investors should be looking at to assess whether they are on the right path?
Well, their partnerships are a good place to start, that collaboration with Monash. It's a really strong signal of, their dedication to innovation. And it's also important to monitor their progress, particularly in the U.S.
Right.
See how well their new U.S. president is executing that expansion strategy.
Right. Right. And those production numbers, we know they've got 400,000 units slated for November 2024.
Yeah, and their largest customer already increased their order.
It's a good sign, but investors will want to see that demand continue to grow.
Yeah, consistent growth in production and sales, those are going to be key.
All right. And we can't forget about that upcoming presentation at the Benchmark Company Investor Conference.
Absolutely not.
That could be huge for them.
A major opportunity, yeah.
To really show, everyone what they've been up to.
It's a chance to showcase their vision, highlight their achievements, address any concerns.
Right.
This could be a real turning point for them.
It really sounds like there's a lot to be excited about, but also a lot to be cautious about. It's a company with potential, but also some challenges.
Yeah, you've got the key takeaway is to, approach this investment with a balanced perspective,
Right.
weigh those potential rewards against the risks, and make informed decisions that align with, your own investment goals and risk tolerance.
So is it a buy, sell, or hold?
Well, like any investment, it really depends on, each person's individual circumstances.
And risk appetite. There's no easy answer.
Fair enough. But what are some things that investors should be, watching closely? Yeah, what should they be looking out for?
So keep a close eye on those financials. Are they moving towards profitability?
Right.
Are they managing their cash burn? How about revenue growth? Is it keeping pace with the market?
Makes sense.
These are all really important indicators.
Yeah, for sure.
Of whether their business model is sustainable in the long run.
Right. And we talked about their U.S. expansion.
Right.
What are some, signs that that's going well?
So look for consistent growth in their customer base, especially in the U.S. Are they securing those partnerships with major players in the U.S. healthcare industry?
Yeah.
And are they scaling production to meet that demand?
Yeah.
Also, keep an eye on any regulatory hurdles navigating the U.S. regulatory landscape.
Right.
It's tricky. It can be complex. So any news, good or bad, regarding approvals, that could really have a big impact. And speaking of news, their presentation at the Benchmark Company Investor Conference.
Yes.
Coming up soon.
Right around the corner.
What should investors be, listening for?
This is a chance to hear from the leadership team.
Yeah.
Pay attention to their vision, their long-term strategy. Are they addressing the challenges head on? Are they giving us a clear path to profitability?
Yeah.
And also listen for any new developments or partnerships. That could be a real catalyst for the stock.
Yeah. Could create a lot of excitement.
For sure.
Definitely a company to watch.
Definitely.
There's a lot of potential, but also some things to be aware of.
I think you summarized it perfectly.
As we wrap up, what's one key takeaway for our listeners about Gelteq?
I'd say Gelteq is an exciting company. They're in a space that's ripe for innovation.
Yeah.
And they have the potential to, really disrupt things with their technology. But investing in a company like this, it's not for everyone. Do your homework. Weigh the potential rewards against the risks and make sure it aligns with your own goals.
Very important.
Yeah.
Well, this has been really insightful. Thanks for breaking this down for us.
My pleasure. Always happy to talk about companies like this.
And for our listeners, if you enjoyed this discussion, please subscribe to Investing Talk Podcast.
Yeah.
Share with your friends and leave a comment.
Let us know what you think.
We love hearing from you.
Absolutely. We appreciate your support.
And as always, do your own research.
Of course.
Before making any investment decisions.
You're here to provide information and insights, but the ultimate decision is yours.
Thanks for joining us on Investing Talk Podcast. We'll be back next week with another look at the world of investing.
See you then.
Until then, happy investing, everyone.